Welcome back to the channel, Mopar Life. And I took the family down to Houston to check out the Mecum auction 2025 to see what was cool down there, see what kind of cool cars I could buy if I won the lottery and I was rich. And right when we walked in, check out that unique color on that 24 Ferrari Roma. The bid got to $220,000, not enough to buy it. Next to it was a 23 Ferrari 812 Competizione at $1.65 million. Wish I had that kind of money lying around. And then a 23 Ferrari 296 GTS, $410,000. Not enough to buy it though. The next two cars I don't know a whole lot about, especially this first one, 1962 Excalibur RS, but it's going to be auctioned off at Mecum in Indy on May 16th. The next one was a Ford GT 1965 model prototype, going to be auctioned off May 17th, and it was the only one to race in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Thought that was a pretty cool thing, so Lord knows how much that sucker's going to bring. This next one I thought was neat, a 1961 Mercedes-Benz 220 SE. I'd love to do something sacrilegious and put an LS motor in there and just drive it around looking retro and cool. And yeah, you may like the Prowlers, you may not like the Prowlers, but this one in silver, 25 grand, that's pretty cool. Those seem to really just be holding their value the same forever, always in the 20s. And my cousin had two of these growing up, these Ram Airs. That one for $29,700. I know it's got the plastic fantastic inside, but I can't get enough of them. And check this one out. If you want to ball on a budget, this Mercedes right here, 05 SL 500 convertible, come on, 16 grand. It looks a lot more expensive than that, and it was when it was brand new. This was a 1992 Chevy Camaro Coupe, and look at this, $26,000, not enough to buy it. That's absolutely crazy, but neat car. And here's the first Mopar I came across, 2011 Dodge Challenger SRT8 Inaugural Edition, and really other than some paint missing from the mirrors, it seemed to be in pretty good shape, but $11,000 couldn't buy it. And this is a cool car, 91 Pontiac Trans Am convertible. And buddy in high school had one of these, but in black, and he was always getting tickets in it. But man, that car was sexy. I definitely wouldn't mind having one, but you couldn't buy this one for $15,000. Not enough money. And let's move on to some of the old school stuff that I love. You're going to see a little theme as you go through this. 1975 Pontiac Trans Am in silver, $26,000. That seemed to me like a pretty good box. It looked like it was in pretty dang good shape. But up next, speaking of Trans Ams, is a bucket list car, 1979 Pontiac Trans Am Bandit Edition. Look at that, with the black and the gold everywhere. Love these cars, and you're going to find out how much I love them because I have almost every one that was for sale at Mecum this time in this video, because I cannot get enough of a good, sexy, bandit-looking Trans Am. My God, love those cars. And here's another one coming up that if you had just dumb money to spend, this 95 Mercedes-Benz S600. I'd buy that just to take the kids to school in and look cool and be comfortable. And there's another one in a minute that you'll see that I would also do the same thing. For some reason, I have this bucket list of like taking kids to school sedan cars. I don't know, I'm weird like that. But anyway, and over here, do you remember from Tango and Cash, the Cadillac Alante? This is the 1990 model, went for $3,300. Yeah, I'm not really very shocked. And then next to it was a 1965 Shelby Cobra replica, $36,000. And this one of these Beck Speedster replicas, 1957 looking, if you want to pretend to be James Dean. And a 77 Trans Am. What? Another Trans Am? Yeah, another Trans Am, $30,800. But look at that 80s looking sunroof. Ugh. And next is a 2012 Chevy Camaro SS 45th Anniversary Edition. That went for a pretty good price, I thought. $19,800. You got a convertible, you got an SS, you got all the horsepower. That's a pretty cool deal. And here's a car I hadn't seen in a while, is a Pantera, a 1974. And I don't think I've ever seen an orange one. Most of the ones I see are in red. But anyway, 60 grand, got that. And for the tuners, I had to take this 1987 Toyota MR2. It's a guilty pleasure. I thought that was cool. 7 grand, but not enough to buy that one. Not this time anyway. And check out this 2013 CTS-V Coupe. This thing was sexy looking. Had all the horsepower. A local guy had one of these, and I loved listening to it drive by. That supercharged. Zing! And check this one out. A 2013 Camaro ZL1 Hennessy couldn't buy for 55 grand, probably because it has 850 horsepower. So they wanted a little more for that for sure, but worth it. And here's another one. I'm telling you, 52.8. These 05 Dodge Vipers are I'm kind of liking them. There's another one here in a minute. But looky here, can't hold a candle to the 79 Pontiac Trans Am. There's another one. $61,600. Oh, I want one of those Trans Ams so bad. Maybe one of these days. And look at this, 06 Dodge Viper, the SRT10. People hated these because they only came in convertible. They're like the redheaded stepchild of Vipers, but the more I see them, the more I like them. They're beautiful. And not surprisingly, there's only one Supra for sale, and this one didn't even sell at $55,000. And this next was a 2010 Dodge Challenger Petty's Garage. I don't know what was super special about this, but 50 grand wasn't enough to buy it, so it must be something that I was missing. And in honor of my cousin Shannon, I had to get this 93 Pontiac Firebird SLP Firehawk 18.7. And next to it was an 02 Jaguar XK8. Look at this, 6 grand. You got a convertible and a V8 and a Jaguar? Yeah, it's going to break down, but it looks cool. Unlike this one, 96 Pontiac Trans Am. Look at that hood. Oh my God. But hey, for less than 10 grand. Okay, here's another one of those take the kids to school cars. Yeah, maintenance would kill you, but 10 grand or close to, that's awesome. And I don't know, I really like these XLRs. 6,600 bucks. I mean, that's not terrible. Then we start getting into big money. 2019 Corvette ZR1 Coupe, 176 grand. And guess what? That's the one you should have bought because, yeah, all the rest of them were more expensive. But it was beautiful. And Back to the Future. Check this thing out. It didn't sell $85,000. But that was pretty cool. Another one did sell later on that wasn't made up to buy Back to the Future, but it still looked pretty neat. And next to that was a 2018 Challenger SRT Demon. A Demon, $132,000. And that was kind of the theme on the Demons, except for a couple of them went in the 80s. I couldn't believe that. But this black one looked pretty cool. And then next to it was a Plum Crazy 2018 Demon, $126,000. That's insane. And as we keep going, we come across a 1958 Corvette, and that went for $118,250. And this next one, all I could think of was my daughter. An 05 CLK 320, 13.2. What 16-year-old daughter wouldn't want something like that? Thankfully, she's not 16 yet, so I don't have to worry about it. But even still, that's a perfect little girl car right there. And this was awesome. I love the C3s. My first Corvette was a C3. And that one was a 1980 model. Another drop-top Mercedes for $14,300. And another awesome-looking C3 for $16,500. And here's the perfect money pit for $23,000. An 05 Bentley Continental GT. And look at this. Another 2019 ZR1. Now we're over 200 grand. $209,000, but look at that wide front end and all of that carbon fiber. That's just absolutely insane. These ZR1s, they had a lot of them for sale, and for me, they took the show. I love the looks of the C7, and then you add the ZR1 on top of it. Look at this, $233,000, and that's for a convertible. But these things just keep going up and up. It's insane. But check this out. My favorite, you saw the thumbnail, the Black Ghost, 807 horsepower, supercharged. I love the story behind the Black Ghost, the heritage that they kind of came up with to give it that name. Love the wheels, the supercharger. I love everything about it. And here's a 23 Demon 170. Bid went on $135,000. And let me look at that Black Ghost again. Oh, that's my favorite. I just got to say it. And then this 82 Corvette bid went on. That's beautiful. 26 grand, but not enough to buy it today. And speaking of Corvettes, how about this 1962 Corvette for $132,000? And look at this beautiful in blue, 148 grand for a 2019 ZR1. I love the wheels on that too, but that blue just pops. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And if you want to be Bond but on a budget, 2007 Aston Martin DB9 Volante. 50 grand, you can be James Bond. And as far as I know, this thing never crossed the block. It was sitting there and said it was for sale. 1973 Porsche 911 Carrera RS Lightweight. Whatever that means, but apparently it's rare. And I fell in love with this '04 Ferrari 360, 80 grand. That's the car I'm buying. If I win $1 million and I want a Ferrari, 80,000. Now I don't know how much it's going to cost me in maintenance, but I'll take it. And look at here, dear to my heart, you know I have a white Scat Pack wide body. It looks a lot like this one. $57,000. I can't believe it. I think whoever bought that must have thought they were buying a Hellcat, because that's just a Scat Pack wide body at 57 grand. But hey, cool car. I own one. And look at this one. 50 grand. Did not buy this 96 Grand Sport. I've always loved these. They only made so many in convertible, and this one didn't sell. And this Mustang was really cool. 1969 Fastback. 740 horsepower. It looked like a race car on the inside. 42 grand wasn't enough to buy it. That's my favorite body style of Mustang, besides the modern ones, of course. And a 2024 Z06 2LZ, 129,000. You know, the regular C8s are coming down. That's not a bad deal for a Z06, if you ask me. And then coming over here, look at this, 39,000. The bid went on this Trans Am 10th anniversary edition. And it looked like it was in super good shape, but that wasn't enough money to buy it. But check out next to this, $330,000. Oh my God, for a 63 Corvette split window. Yeah, they're cool, but wow. And there's another Mustang, 66 grand. That Mustang was a 67, by the way. And here's a 94 Dodge Viper rolling by. It sold $49,500. This was a deal, if you asked me, for under 30 grand. You've got a ZL1 Camaro. I mean, it's a 2012, but still, that's amazing. And I could not tell if I loved or hated this Corvette, this '07 supercharged wide body. So it's got the look, it's got the performance. May not be everybody's taste, but I don't know, kind of 24 grand? Well, I thought it was pretty cool. And then, of course, you know this, if you're my age, you know the Mach 5. Go, Speed Racer, go! And it was based on a C3. Probably would have been a little cooler if it was on a C5, but I don't know how long ago they made that car. But anyway, and of course, here's the Ghostbusters, the old Cadillac hearse, 110 grand. And you're driving around. I'm sure it made all the cool noises and sounds. I didn't get to hear it at the show. But it had all the stuff on the roof. And this cute little sign here says, ectoplasma residue, be careful. And I know you're shocked. A 1976 Trans Am, 43,000 wasn't enough to buy this bad boy. Love those wheels. Have no idea if they're factory or aftermarket, but they were really cool and looked awesome on the car. Now let's go into some stuff I really know nothing about. Is these Ferraris. $236,000 for this Roma twin turbo. It's a 24 model. And be honest with you, the Ferraris look really cool, but I can't tell one from another, because look, now this one's $330,000 for this 21 Ferrari F Tributo, 710 horsepower. I do know what that means. And then the next one was a 22 Ferrari 812 GTS. It gets even more. The horsepower goes up, 785 horsepower in this V12, 530 grand. I'm telling you, they all look the same. I wouldn't know what I'm buying. 320 grand for a 2019 812 super fast. And yeah, I'm sure it is super fast. $300,000 difference between the cheapest and the most expensive. I couldn't keep up. And you're wondering why this one went for only $37,000. Looks beautiful there, but it said it was unrestored. So I guess maybe that means you got to put some money into it. And look at this 2019 Corvette. This is just a Grand Sport, but it still has that body. Bid went on $57,000, but look at that color and those chrome wheels. Unbelievable. And I'd like to say this is the last Trans Am, but it's not. It's the second to last. The 1978, 33 grand. Now that's getting into affordable range. That's a lot better than that $60,000 one, and it looks pretty nice. I mean, it looks nice enough for me. I'd definitely take it. Another cool C7, got the big wang on the back. $50,000, didn't buy it though. It was a 2019 Grand Sport, but still pretty cool. And this next one, check this out, a 23 Hellcat Red Eye. It says it was over 1,500 horsepower. I think maybe like 18 on some gas. I don't know. It says it runs sevens consistently. Look at that roll cage. Lots of room for the kids in the back. That's a grocery getter right there. It was pretty cool, though. I was actually impressed with that. $40,000 for this Factory 5 replica. And this Maybach, I think this was the big one, whatever the big size is. 38 grand bid goes on, but I mean, still, it probably wouldn't take much more to buy that. And man, you were talking about luxury. That car was probably, what, 300 grand new? I don't remember. But anyway, check it out. Okay, it's the last Trans Am. 1978, 36,000. Look at that fire engine red with that gold eagle and gold wheels. I'll take it. This, to me, was my deal of the day. 2018 Demon for 85 grand. Those other ones were over $100,000. This one's $85,000, and it has the sunroof, which you know I love. And check it out here. This is a 2024 Shelby Super Snake, 830 horsepower. Gonna cost you 132 grand. And then 1982 Ferrari 308 GTS Magnum PI. I guess he drove this or something like it. I don't really know the Ferraris very well. But anyway, I talked to this guy here. I said, man, you and me'd have a problem fitting in that car, but I sure would like to give it a try. And it looked cool, and the smell, the way these old cars smell, it's amazing. So here's that other DeLorean I was telling you about, 1981 DeLorean. And this one did sell, $47,300. It's crazy. I remember back in the day, you could buy one of these in this same shape for like 25 grand. But here's something you probably couldn't buy for 25 grand. Look at this thing. 1970 Plymouth Superbird, 302,000. Boy, Joe Deerte would love that one. That's a lot of money, but I guess you get a lot of car, a lot of collectible. Look at this 2022 Shelby GT500 Heritage Edition, $148,500. But what a beautiful car. I do love the modern Mustangs, especially like those with the body kit. And check out this Camaro 21 SS Yanko Supercharged, 1,050 horsepower for 110 grand. And the last 2018 Demon, another sub 100,000 one, $84,700. And last but not least, a 2024 Shelby Super Snake, $143,000. And you know what's better than looking at all these cool cars is looking at all these cool cars with your family and friends and getting everybody to share in the hobby that you love. If you need me, I think I'm going to be out tearing up the streets in my Scat Pack. Let's go!